So, all right. So I guess we'll get started.
Yeah.
So
here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Hi there. I'm Paul.
I'm Joe.
And this is the Made Up Show where everything's made up and the points don't matter. We're broadcasting here from
my garage.
the beautiful vista of Joe's garage as the first preliminary inaugural episode. So,
Yep.
what are we going to be talking about today?
Well, I think we're just going to be. This is the first episode, so what we really want to do is just make a really cool podcast where Paul rolls off camera in his chair. But no, what we really want to do is just do a cool podcast where we talk about things that really matter to us. But we just want to talk about things that matter to us, like tech, just gaming, in the world of gaming. We both don't have a whole lot of time for gaming anymore, but we still really enjoy it and really want to see what's going on in that community and talk about movies or just things in the news in general. And I think that would be kind of cool, just have a good time with that and just pick out little stories and hopefully you guys will enjoy it. So, but I think today the first thing I wanted to talk about is EA games. And Paul's very passionate about his feelings about EA.
Fuck EA.
Yeah.
Fuck them in the dick.
Yeah, but I don't know how you do that. How do you do that?
You can easily fuck people in the dick.
Oh,
I'll show you later.
That'll be interesting. So, but they recently just bought PopCap Games, and you guys don't know me yet, but I'm a big fan of Zuma Blitz. I really enjoy Zuma Blitz on Facebook. Yes, I know you have to pay money, but with Zynga going through its first IPO now at $10 a share, and it's sort of waffling at that price, I'm really interested to see where EA is going to take it. So. But I don't know. What are your thoughts about EA in general? I want to get started with you because I think it would be, it's kind of interesting.
EA used to be that company that would just put out sports games and it was fine, and then all of a sudden they started putting out Need for Speed and it was fine. But then they saw a decline in, the growth of their sales. I think.
I think this will loosen up. I think it's going to loosen up discussion here. Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I think it's a shame that they want to compete with Steam, and Steam is the most amazing, wonderful platform ever.
But Steam isn't around, as much as it used to be. Well, I mean, it's cool, but just sort of a counterpoint. It's not as visual and it's not as vocal as EA is, and yet they have just as much money. So it's kind of interesting.
I love Steam as a distribution platform, and the fact that EA then rolled out Origins, and I became really mad at EA when I started reading an article about how one person got banned from the EA forums, not by their own doing. They were attached to some other terms of service thing.
Something. So what you're saying is basically, they're part of another game, right? Or they're part of one game.
Okay, so one guy was in the EA forums and he was talking some shit, and then somebody got reported, and then
he was attached to that string.
He was attached to that string.
Okay.
And then EA blocked both him from playing online and his single player game.
That's ridiculous.
Because it's attached to Origins.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So now what you're doing is you're actually just totally crushing any kind of community and any kind of free speech that wants to happen in that community.
But I mean, just as like a counterpoint, is that really? I mean, that's sort of a fluke. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's happening all the time. My main problem with what EA is doing is that, and you and I have talked about this before, is this constant nickel and dime bullcrap.
Yeah, no, all the DLC.
So like all the DLC, like. My first foray into this was playing Army of Two. Don't laugh. I know it was a bad game, but we didn't know that when it was coming out. Okay.
Talk about dicking people in the dick. That's all Army of Two was all about.
Army of Two was so ridiculous. It was terrible. It was terrible AI. I remember one time I had a guy. I ran ahead of my partner, and he was running in a circle, literally. Like 3 feet wide. just pirouetting in the middle of all these. I'm shot. I had to go drag him and healing him and everything else. That was really annoying. But, as I see things like Battlefield 3 now and other games that look beautiful. I mean, Battlefield 3 It looks beautiful, incredible. Like the actual gameplay is amazing, and they have all this money to spend on, this like awesome, a rap song and all this everything that goes into these advertisements.
Right.
But it's just how they pay for that is, oh, you want that gun? You gotta pay me $2. Oh, right. You want this uniform? You gotta pay me $2.
Right.
And Call of Duty is not as
these games feel so incomplete sometimes.
Well, I mean, Call of Duty, those ships with, up until recently, until they did the Elite thing, it shipped with everything you needed. Right. If you want to have a good time with this game, you can do it. You don't have to pay the yearly fee to be an Elite. Right. And that's why, full disclosure, I work at a big, a big electronics company or electronic distribution company that rhymes with Mestmy. Okay, let's just say that. So I work at a place like that, and then all of a sudden I'm walking through, and EA's knocked down Battlefield 3 to $29.99 at Christmas time, and it's only been around for 2 months?
Yeah.
If that. Well, and it's already down from $60 to $29.99 because no one's buying it.
Well, that and they killed the resale market because you have to have an online authentication thing in order to play online. So if I were to buy a used copy, I can't automatically get online.
That just blows my mind.
See, so even if you rent the game, like you can't even rent the game because you can't get online. So I can play a single player, but if you want to be where all the action is, you got to pay a $10 fee back to EA in order to play the game. That's a bunch of bullshit.
That's ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
I just think this is what scares me about buying PopCap, because PopCap has things like Bejeweled and Zuma and all these other fun little games that you can do over and over again. And Zuma was PopCap's first foray into paying to play. Okay, you can play 10 times, but if you want to play some more, you have to pay I don't know, $2.40 for 100 idols, and idols will buy you more games and stuff like that. So $2.40, I must have spent at least $30 in the last 2 years. Just every once in a while, I want to play again. So I want to have those. I want to buy more Mojo, which gives you more powers and blah blah blah. Check it out. It's awesome. So maybe we'll show a picture of
my favorite free to play game right now is Team Fortress 2.
Yeah,
which didn't start out free to play but became free to play, and it's sort of an interesting.
Team Fortress 2 is great.
It's an interesting evolution of a game economy because they had a really solid.
Team Fortress is EA now, right?
No, it's Valve.
Is it Valve?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Don't troll our boards, which are non-existent right now.
I wanted to stab you just then, so
don't stab me.
I'll break this bottle right over your head.
Paul's gonna make a meat puppet.
So with TF2, it didn't start off free, but it became free once they implemented vanity items. So you can still play the game perfectly fine by just playing through. And they've kept all the weapons balanced enough to even where the new weapons that come out, there's so much trade-off that I personally still roll with mostly vanilla weapons.
Yeah, I mean, you can do that, which makes it fun in TF2.
That's what's kept it fun.
Kept it fresh.
And then they'll keep adding updates, and I've been playing it for 3 years. I looked at the LAN party at 757 Labs that we were just at on Saturday.
Woo!
I had 700 hours played in TF2 over the last 3 years. That's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time, dude.
That's a lot of time.
How did you start a business?
I have no idea. But I know I haven't been able to play since I started my business, except for a half hour at a time. The other really fun free-to-play game that's out right now is League of Legends. Have you heard of this?
That's the, is that the DC one?
No, League of Legends is kind of like a clone of Dota.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We have to show pictures of these things to people.
Yeah, I'll put up a fancy graphic right here.
Yeah, you should do either that or just fade it in like iMovie style.
Hold up your hand and I'll put a graphic in it. Yeah, something will be there. Hold it up so I have enough time to comp it in.
Okay.
All right, so a graphic will show up here for League of Legends.
And if it doesn't, then
We just look like an idiot.
this is free, so don't even worry about it.
You get what you pay
You
for.
get what you pay for.
But with League of Legends, you control a hero and you move around a battlefield and you take down towers, and all of it's free to play. And their system is such that they have 40 or 50 champions that you can pick from.
Okay.
Every week, they rotate out 10 free ones. So you get to try them out for a week before you actually buy them.
That's rad.
And each of them, they cost, like, I think it's like $2 or $3 a piece, or you can buy a full-on starter pack. And, like, it's a very good way to waste a lot of time.
I'm sure it is.
And
I'm excited about it just hearing you talk about it.
I had a friend of
and
mine.
You're not even doing a good job explaining it.
A friend of mine started playing it, and I was like, so have you bought anything? He's like, yeah. It's like, when did you decide to buy something? He's like, when I realized I was playing LOL more than WoW. And he had an active WoW subscription, so he canceled that, and now he just plays LOL.
So I have a buddy of mine who plays, what's the old game that's having a revival right now? It's the one with the bricks and everything you can bust out, and you have a hammer and everything. You're always searching for gold.
Minecraft?
Minecraft. Now, yeah. I saw that game in my buddy's. A buddy of mine was staying down here, and he brought his computer with him. He was playing that thing in his hotel room. It was ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And you look at those games and how addicting they are. You don't have to pay to play those things. You know?
No,
why don't we do games like that anymore?
No, but Minecraft, you do pay once.
You pay once, but I mean, it's not constant, like ching ching ching.
Yeah, it doesn't have DLC. You didn't have to buy armor for your horse.
And as much as I love Cityville, I mean, I played Cityville way too much until the end of last year. I was just like, I'm just throwing money away at this point. It's just ridiculous. Why do I need to be constantly doing all this stuff? Why do I need to keep bugging my friends for, stuff for a pigeon park? Why do I need it? Just at first it's great, and Farmville had this down to, but Zynga, damn them for coming up with this model and doing it for so well, but. Either it's like waterbeds where one day somebody wakes up and goes, I don't like this anymore, and they just change it, or something's just going to have to give in the gaming community, and I don't know if it's going to give or not. I don't know if they're going to be able to put out quality stuff anymore.
Well, microtransaction games have been around for a while. They're really popular in Asia, where people would just go into net cafes and just play.
Yeah.
And, they didn't have a full-on $50 a drop at a time, so they dropped...
Damn those Asians.
drop a little bit here and there.
I mean, nothing.
So...
Sorry, Paul. My bad.
So what movies are coming up that are good to see?
Oh, yeah, enough about that, right?
Yeah.
Now, we can talk about that till our faces are blue.
Moving on...
But yeah, I think movies coming up. Call me a jerk, but I really want to see a new Mission Impossible 4.
No, I found out that is actually directed by Brad Bird.
And Simon Pegg's in it. And Simon Pegg, I love me some Simon Pegg. Simon Pegg, you're the man. And I mean, I saw like Shaun of the Dead the other day, and if I had money, I would have ran out and bought the DVD. But I'm poor, so I don't.
Brad Bird is the guy who directed the Incredibles.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested to see how he translates that action into live action with human actors, and I think he'll do a really good job of telling.
The only thing I don't like about it is that even from the preview, they go to like 6 different countries, and I don't know how I feel about that. But like, how'd you get to Dubai so fast? How'd you do it?
Did you see the Muppets movie where they travel by map?
Yeah.
They travel by map, so it's just like zipping around. And
okay, so my favorite travel sequence of all time in any movie whatsoever. Did you ever see the movie Deep Impact?
No.
Deep Impact came out at the same
Sounds
time.
Like one starring your mom.
Hey, no. So Deep Impact came out the same time that Armageddon came out. It was another asteroid movie.
Okay.
It was
Tia Leone?
That was Tia Leone. Yeah. That was one where. They came out in like early May. The early May movies were just getting started, and Armageddon came out in July. This was like in '98, and they were going for a much more serious movie than Armageddon was, a much more serious like disaster movie. And where was I going with that? Crap. It was like no. Okay, so we're talking about Deep Impact.
Oh, the best travel sequence.
Best travel sequence. Okay, so. we're in Hampton Roads, so that's right on that's right on the ocean. It's Virginia Beach, and so a lot of these places where a lot of these shots were taking place in what they call Virginia beaches, which makes me really laugh because they couldn't even get that right. But so Elijah Wood, who's like 16 at the time of this movie is filmed, maybe even younger, is on a motorbike and is traveling with this chick on the back as they're running away from the impending tidal wave because the asteroid is going to land in the water and the tidal wave is going to come and kill everybody, right? So they're literally, everybody's stuck in traffic, everybody's running for their lives like a zombie apocalypse, and everything's just gagged up. But he has a motorcycle, so he can go in through things.
Right.
So he's traveling like, and after like 5 minutes of him riding his bike, because the thing's about to crash into Earth, he's at the mountains of Virginia, which is literally like 6 hours away. After like five minutes on a dirt bike, all of a sudden it's like, hey, we're in the mountains, which that's my favorite thing of all time. I'm like, how did he get that so fast? And then of course he's able to climb to a top of a mountain and
hyperspeed.
It's the best travel secret. If you guys ever have a chance to watch at least the last 20 minutes of Deep Impact, watch it. And just be careful what you Google with that, because you never know what you're going to find.
You Google Deep Impact and Joe Hill's mom.
Shut up about my mom. God, I'm going to mention Asians again.
This upcoming holiday season is actually the first time I've been excited about movies this entire year, because we've got the.
You weren't excited about Thor at all?
A little bit, but then when I saw it,
I was super excited about Thor.
When I saw it, though, it was a little. I was let down.
What about Captain America?
I was pretty excited.
Yeah.
But right now we got Mission Impossible 4, directed by Brad Bird.
That's good.
We've got Hugo, which is a Scorsese children's film.
I don't know how to feel about this.
So not only is
I'm waiting for one of the kids to start doing Blow or something.
Not only is it a children's film, but it's his first 3D film.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I've been very weary of 3D. I saw
It's
Avatar,
It's a ripoff.
and it was fine for what it is. And then I saw Toy Story 3D, which I thought was going to be better in 3D than it turned out to be. Toy Story 3 was still an amazing movie, but did not need the 3D.
Well, that's the problem, though, is because the movies are so crappy now. And I'm not saying that Toy Story 3 is crappy.
Right.
But what I am saying is that movies are so crappy now, they have to find a way to get people's butts in seats.
Well,
because $10 a pop, and now with 3D movies, $15 to $20 a pop, that's money raking in. Even if it's a bad movie like Return of the Titans, or whatever.
I think Scorsese just might kill
Clash
it.
of the Titans. Excuse me. Sorry.
Just might kill it with 3D. He shot it on a Arri Alexa.
All right.
So I'm interested to see what he's doing with that.
In case you don't know, Paul's a photography nerd, and he really loves it.
My God!
This will all come out probably in the next 5.
I was at a bar.
5 episodes.
I was at a bar last night, and there was a football game on, and I know nothing about football. But then all of a sudden, they cut to their camera system because they're trying to highlight the 3D system. So I look at it, and I was like, "That's a beam splitter. That's 3D camera setup." And that's all I could talk about. I was like, dude, check out this football 3D system.
That's awesome.
Don't care about this game.
I don't care about this bad stuff.
Understand.
It's unusual.
And there was a third movie that I was going to talk about, but I can't remember what it is. But I was also excited to go see Scorsese, Brad Bird, and Steven Spielberg.
War Horse.
No.
What?
Well, I don't know about War Horse, but the Steven Spielberg movie, Adventures of Tintin.
Oh, yeah.
The Secret of the Unicorn.
That's going to be awesome. That's going to be awesome.
I love unicorns. Let's put that out there right now.
Check out the shirt.
Unicorns are an amazing and magical creature that I just can't get enough of. And Tintin is... Did you ever read the Tintin books?
No, I didn't. But, what I find really interesting is this movie is like the #1 movie in the rest of the world and has yet to come to America. It's been released in Britain over the summer and in Europe, and it was a huge hit there. And then all of a sudden, we don't see any of it because some executive somewhere just goes, "Well, we need a Christmas movie," and they decide to put it out at Christmas.
I can't wait.
I think it's going to be cool.
I think it's going to be amazing.
My wife really wants to see War Horse. She has I don't know what it is, or Secretariat or Seabiscuit or Warhorse, anything like that. I'm just like, I don't want to go see another horse movie. But this one looks really good.
Is it also about a horse, like overcoming something?
Well, yeah, I mean the thing's alive in no man's land during World War I. So, and Spielberg can do war movies right. So I think he'll be all right.
Spielberg has 2 movies out at the same time.
Yeah. Well, I mean technically, no, because Tintin came out in July. And it's just now coming here. But sort of, I mean, well, yeah. I mean, he had sort of 2 at the same time with Super 8 because he was an executive producer on that. And then like a month and a half later, he had Cowboys and Aliens, which I still have yet to see. But I saw Super 8, and Super 8 was wonderful. I mean, it was a great movie.
Do you read Reddit?
Yeah.
Okay, so on Reddit the other day, on the Today I Learned, the other day I learned that Steven Spielberg actually gets royalties from Star Wars because Lucas...
Did he give him money or something?
Lucas went to Spielberg and said, no one's going to watch my movie. And then Spielberg at that time also had Raiders, right?
No, Raiders hadn't come out yet.
No. Spielberg had a movie at the same time with as Lucas, and Lucas said no one will come. And then
was this American Graffiti?
I don't know. They had an agreement where whoever's movie did better, the other one would get royalties from.
Okay. Wow.
So
that's
So Spielberg is still cashing in on Star Wars.
That's pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. Hey, just checking in. My mom likes my Facebook post about us starting this podcast.
The Made Up Show. It's the Made Up Show.
I don't know about that song yet, but that's all right.
We need a theme song.
We do need. I'm just thinking about.
If you have an idea for a theme song, submit it.
I'm going to see if we can get the Black Keys "Lonely Boy" because that's a great one for us.
Then we'd have to license stuff.
No, we don't because we're not making any money off of this.
I don't think that's the criteria.
I think it is, and so
we can report on the song, and then it's fair use.
Okay, well, I mean this is boring now, so we get. I'm just kidding. We just had fun away.
What's the?
But no, there's one other movie that's coming out that I just saw a preview for is Dark Knight Rises, and I wasn't sure about it from the pictures that I was seeing. I wasn't even sure about it from the trailer, from the teaser trailer. And now that I've seen the full trailer, I'm in like 100%. I mean, this movie. I'm sorry, Christopher Nolan, for doubting you. You are an amazing human being. I love everything you do. You're by far my favorite director, and I will continue to love everything that you do. So, but I mean, the sound that Tom Hardy's voice makes as Bane is terrifying and wonderful. I don't know if we're going to be able to understand it because I had to listen to something that he said 3 times in the preview. That's kind of scary to me. But then again, they made Batman's voice all gravelly and I saw that thing like 80 times. So Lucius, why are we talking like this? So I don't know why he did it that much, but it's still pretty cool. And I mean, a freaking football field disappears in that preview.
I saw that. That was pretty sick.
Goodness, how awesome is that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in.
Anne Hathaway looks really hot.
She looks really hot, and it has the same political undertones that the last one did, dealing with terrorism and stuff. And now this one's talking about just really cool stuff like the Occupy Wall Street movement, like 99% and 1%. I mean, something that Selena Kyle whispers to Bruce Wayne's ear. Do you really think you can keep... I think it's something to the effect of, do you really think you can keep living like this while you leave nothing for the rest of us? I mean, that type of stuff is just really, really cool. And even if you don't agree with it, it paints a really interesting picture of what he does in his movies. It's not just another dumb superhero movie. And I love Marvel superhero movies, but they are kind of one note. You know what I mean? They're kind of one note. They're simple. They're just like Marvel Comics used to be. And now they're more complex. But what Nolan has done with this entire universe has taken folklore of the comic universe and just made it realistic. Which just blows my freaking mind.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how he helps reboot the Superman series.
I'm really interested to see that as well. And DC, let's be honest, needs this type of movie. They need these types of this type of like regeneration for their comic books.
Right.
So I think that's cool. But anyway, enough about that. But we'll, as you can see, we'll just talk about whatever we want, and it's going to be
It's
fun.
the made-up show.
So anyway, I came across.
Things are made up as we go along.
All right. Well, thanks, Paul. Okay, so I came across this article with Wired Magazine about Skyrim and video game addiction. Mm-hmm. And this sort of goes back to our EA and PopCap discussion. I don't know how I feel about video game addiction talk in general, because for me, I love video games, and I'll play them for hours and hours and hours. And my wife can attest to this with Zuma, or whether it's Zuma or Gears of War or whatever. And when I was in my former life, I was in seminary, and they're always talking about self-discipline and talking about a lot of different things just pertaining to your life and maintaining self-control and all these other, just like it pertains to everything, whether it be drinking or video games or just your life in general. And so I would like sell entire systems, just just like gone. Like I have an Xbox 360 for 2 months. Oh, I feel guilty. I'll sell it, and because I played it too much. So, but I don't know. I hold myself to one game. Like right now, I have the old Modern Warfare 2. That's what I have. I need to get Modern Warfare 3 just because it's awesome. But at the same time, I've still maintained, even by playing Zuma every once in a while, still maintain building my own app, and pitching that to different people. And now it's in a marketplace. It's called AirTalk, by the way. AEIRTALK.com. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, right there. Airtalk.com. It's a pretty sweet one. If you have kids, check it out. I think you'll like it. We'll talk more about that later. But I've managed to do that. We've managed to come together here through networking and still be able to start a podcast. Paul obviously loves things like video games, and he has his own weekend pop-up restaurant, and he has his own photography studio. So this idea that gamers are just slackers who don't do anything, yeah, I mean,
that's ridiculous.
This whole idea, that's sort of where this discussion is. I'm trying to steer it towards, because you hear about Skyrim, and when I work at Mest My, there's a lot of guys there who are in their early 20s who are like, I gotta get home and play Skyrim. I gotta get home and play Modern Warfare 3. And they stay up till 4 in the morning and they play, and then they come to work the next day and they're tired. But they're single. They don't have families. They work at Mest My, and they're like, 23, 24 years old. They can do that.
I think
that's part of your 20s, though.
I think it's a shame that video games still have this kind of thing attached to it, that it's for people who live in their mom's basements, and like it's only for children or whatever.
It's totally frustrating.
People always ask me like, how do you have time to, learn about this or learn about that, because I like to learn about all kinds of stuff. And I go, well, I don't watch football. I don't watch sports.
Right. I mean, it just depends on where you put your time in.
Other people have plenty of other things that are incredible time wasters to other people.
I will watch MMA though. That's one of the only sports I actually enjoy. Yeah. I think it might be nerd rage. It could be.
I mean, for me, I think that watching football is a waste of time because I don't like football.
Yeah.
That's a good 6 hours of a Sunday gone.
The old blue and whites. That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's all these teams. It seems like everyone just cheers for colors. Mm-hmm. Like back during Roman times. Okay, I'm gonna school y'all. Like during the Eastern Roman Empire, back during the 300s to the 1400s, there was a place called the Hippodrome, and they would have chariot races. And there was 2 teams called the Blues and the Greens, and they would cheer for whichever side they wanted to. Sometimes it was lighthearted, like going back and forth. Other times it turned into full-on riots, and that still happens today. Like say someone has a team for football, it's like blue and white, and another guy said, well, we're red and yellow, and I don't like the blue and whites. It's pretty much what it boils down to.
No, exactly.
It's cheering, for random banners.
And people who are into fantasy football, I think they should realize that they are playing Dungeons and Dragons. Essentially,
that's true.
I mean, it's pretty much just an RPG.
There's no dudes going roll for initiative, though. You know what I mean?
Well, no, you don't have to, but
I just
pretty much what
I just got a thing for Jeep on here that was for the Modern Warfare 3 edition Jeep. which is pretty freaking sweet.
But as far as like video game addiction goes, I think it can be applied to anything in life where...
Look at that. That's rad.
I'm not a huge Jeep guy.
Oh, what?
I'm just not.
You're not my friend anymore.
No.
Oh, well, you're my friend again.
Yay. This show has everything.
It's like a range of emotion. This is how nerds deal with things. But anyway, yeah, I think just this whole talk about people not being productive on video games. There are some like Tom Lennon. Tom Lennon is a wonderful screenwriter. He was Lieutenant Dangle on Reno 911.
Okay.
He's a very, very smart dude, and I've heard him talk on other podcasts about video games and how he cannot play them. He just can't. He will not allow himself to, because otherwise he's going to find himself back where he was when he was 22, which is in his apartment playing video games and smoking weed. I mean, that's all he did.
Right.
And so he literally had to cut it out from his life, because now he has a child and he has a wife. And to a certain extent, you have to grow up. You have to do stuff, and you have to balance your time. But you don't have to give something up completely if you're not 100% addicted to it.
Right.
I just don't like this whole idea of people like, oh, I'm addicted to video games, so I got to stop it. Well, just try to balance first. Just try to find balance of your time and manage your time well, and just go from there. But I mean, I don't know.
Balancing your life, balancing your time, your work, your family. Everything. That's really what
It's
it's
really
all
what it
about.
boils down to. So
that's your made-up show tip of the day. Balance your life,
and now you know.
and the more you know.
It's like a star crossing.
Yeah, star right.
If we can get that, that would be rad.
It'll come right into your. I'm gonna put the star like.
What happened to Joe's head? Star
So,
went into it.
So I guess that about wraps up today's made-up show.
I think so. And thank you guys for watching. I think we'll just keep getting better and better. It might not be in my garage all the time, but I think we'll have a good time with it. And we're just going to keep doing this until, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from you guys.
Leave your comments below.
Yeah, leave your comments below.
Hit the subscribe button up here. I hate those guys.
I know, man.
Follow me on Facebook, and I'm at Twitter.
I hate to say it though. It's so nice and validating as a person to get that type of
Follow us.
Get that type of feedback.
You to follow us.
Like I put on my business page, Air Biologic on Facebook. I put we like email. It's very validating because it is kind of, even if it's bad email, it's kind of like, oh, it took time out.
Today's made-up show is brought to you by AirTalk.
AirTalk and Paul Chin Photography.
And Paul Chin Photography.
And Norfolk Grumman.
And I want to give one big shout-out to the Harrington Pet Cemetery. So I'll put a link to that as well.
But we'll keep posting, guys, and we'll put our emails and stuff like that. We'd love to hear from you, but for now we'll just leave it at this. And thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.
It's the made-up show.
We got
the show that's made up.
The
made-up show.
That still makes me laugh.
The show that's made up on the spot now.